Willie, I'm not sure I know where to start after that. Where would you start? What's your overriding feelings?
We'll go to the end part.
Yeah.
That was the best part. Look, I thought, we knew Leeds were going to be a tough team, physical team. They dominated a lot of that game. But full credit to our team. Like they're a tough team. We are, our players are tough. They're connected, and you have to be that to get through and win that game. Because as I said, I thought Leeds were dominant for long periods of that game, and then we went down to 12 man. We found a way to connect, and I liked how our spine connected. I thought they was the best that they've connected with each other. I thought our attack was off for large parts of that game until we went down to 12 men, and then we ended up, they teamed up together, our halves, and I thought we caused a few problems.
Did you think it was game over with the scoreboard as it was and the red card? At that point, did you think perhaps it was a defeat?
I think sometimes as a coach you feel the game and it's like, this is not going our way. Leeds were far more dominant, well, they were more dominant than us, so I'm not taking that away from them. But yeah, I did think, I know the fight in our team. I knew we were going to fight to the end, but I was thinking how are we going to get those points. But then when we got that try, I thought, well, okay, there's an opportunity here if we keep playing the same way, which we did. We kept playing, and then Mikey passing the ball to Brody down the sideline, and backing up and scoring that try. That was a big play.
Would it be fair to say perhaps for Mikey personally, he maybe didn't have as much involvement as he normally would for say an hour, but as you say, the 40-20, the assist, the try, he really came into the game and in that last 15-20 minutes?
Yeah, that's a fair call, but I'm really pleased with that because there's times that Mikey's been in the game but doesn't come up with the big play, but tonight he did, and some people might say that he hasn't played well because he hasn't come up with a big play, but tonight I thought he was like you say, he was in the game, but the best halves in the competition and over in the NRL as well, they find a way to get in the game in key moments and key times. And I think tonight's it's a stepping stone for Mikey, and it shows his growth as a player and as a playmaker to be able to, kick that 40-20 and then score that try, but set it up first. It was a big play and a key moment in the game.
I think it's fair to say Brad Arthur didn't think either red card was a red card. Can I ask for your take on those?
I agree. Absolutely. I think, I don't know what Jesse's meant to do, and look, whether they're 10 minutes, you give 10 for both, but they're certainly not a red card. There's no way, and we don't want to be going down that track again. I'm just not sure. I'll talk about my player, but I'm not sure what Jess is meant to do in that situation. He lowered his level. I'm not sure. I couldn't hear the comms in and around it, but it's a contact sport, and unfortunately, we're going to have some accidents. And we're just got to make sure that the players are doing everything they can. And I thought I'm not sure what Jesse could have done there.
That was another point Brad made. He doesn't think clubs can be doing more to try and avoid these things, and accidents do happen. Do you sort of agree with that?
Absolutely. We don't coach and teach our players to go out and tackle above the shoulders. We're always talking around what a tackle looks like, and you're working on dual contact and players coming in third man. It's all clean. It's not. 10 years ago there was all these different types of tackles that came in, and they got that out of the game, and so they should, because it wasn't right for the game. The going in, chopping in at the ankles and the knees, and what are they called, chicken wings and all that sort of stuff. We don't. No coach would teach that. No staff member would teach that at all. What they teach is to go in and be physical with contact. Brad would be exactly the same. Step into contact, make sure it's legal, make sure it's with your shoulder, make sure you're wrapping your arm around. And I get it, sometimes there's going to be accidents, but I don't think tonight's was a red card.
What can you tell us about Kalepi Tanganoa's injury?
Yeah, so he failed his HIA, so yeah, he's a little bit dizzy at the moment, but he's getting there now, which is good.
And you had a decision to make beforehand without having Tom Davies and Joe Burgess. I think when people were picking their teams coming in, they maybe thought Lee Kershaw might get a go tonight. Just talk us through your decision making for your 17.
Yeah, so Kershaw wasn't far off. Peters probably one of our best carries. The Leeds have got, they're winning, or they're up there with the stats in terms of minimising metres, inside your red zone. So they get off the line and they run teams, and it's hard to get out of there. So I just thought having Petter on the wing, a little bit bigger body in terms of like he gets us on the front foot when he plays centre. I thought he'd be able to do that more so as a winger, and then Batch as a back rower. But we've won every game when Batch has gone there. It's a crazy little stat that we've got, but he's had to go there for different reasons. So it was one where I thought that we needed some carry, we needed some punch, and Peck gives us that, and I thought Batch would give us that from centre.
And just finally, we got to see Leyland again. Did you see enough tonight to sort of say that he can cover things while Michael McIlorum's injured?
Yeah, I thought he was great. He had a short stint. He wasn't happy when I took him off, which is good. You want that from a player. But feedback, from the players is how he changed the game, the energy. I mean, put a good hit on someone, but just his energy. He had good service from dummy half, and we know what type of player we've got there. We've just got to make sure that we develop him, and takes his time. He's only a few games in from an ACL, so his second game in Super League. So he's got he's going to have a good career ahead of him.